The discovery. Research Station Keeper 7 floated in the void between galaxies, a silent observer in the cosmic darkness. Dr. Zara Kthelm had spent 17 cycles monitoring the Great Silence, that empty gulf where no signals traveled, no life stirred. Her species, the Kthel, had mapped every corner of their home galaxy over the past million years. They had found thousands of civilizations, all connected through the Great Network. But beyond? Nothing. Ever. Until today. The alarm yanked Zara from her meditation pod. Her forearms scrambled across the workstation as data flooded her screens. A signal. Impossible. The readings came from beyond the galactic rim, from a region of space that should contain nothing but ancient radiation and dead stars. Computer, analyze signal origin, she commanded, her voice steady despite the trembling in her limbs. Source confirmed. Extragalactic. Distance, 2.3 million light-years. Signal type, artificial. Repeating pattern detected. Zara's breathing sacs contracted. 2 million light-years. That meant the signal had been traveling through the void since before her entire civilization had learned to make fire. Whatever sent it had been trying to reach out across an impossible distance for epochs. The message. She worked through the night cycle, her colleagues back on the homeworld watching through quantum links as she decoded the transmission. The pattern was mathematical, elegant in its simplicity. Primes. Fibonacci sequences. The universal constants. Whoever sent this wanted to be understood. Then came the images. The first showed a blue world, mostly water, with green continents and white clouds. Beautiful. Vibrant. Alive. The second image showed beings, bipedal, bilateral symmetry, standing upright with manipulator appendages. They looked fragile compared to the Kthel's armored forms, but their eyes held something recognizable. Intelligence. Curiosity. Hope. The third image made Zara's blood run cold. It showed their star expanding, consuming the inner worlds. A red giant death. And a date, translated through mathematical constants, showing when this catastrophe would occur. Computer, when was this signal sent based on stellar evolution models? Calculating. Signal originated approximately 2.4 million years ago, standard. Based on stellar data encoded in the message, the star's expansion would have occurred within 10,000 years of transmission. They were already gone. This beautiful species, reaching out across the universe with hope and wonder, had been extinct for over 2 million years. Zara felt grief settle into her bones, heavy and cold. The archive. But the signal continued. More images. More data. They called themselves humans. They showed their world, Earth, in loving detail. Mountains and oceans. Cities of glass and steel. Art and music encoded in mathematical formulas. They showed their history, their wars and peace, their struggles and triumphs. One image particularly struck Zara. It showed a human child, small and vulnerable, looking up at the night sky. Beneath it, translated through the universal mathematical language, were words, "We are here. We existed. We mattered. Please remember us." It wasn't a distress call. It was a memorial. The humans had known they were dying. Their sun was expanding faster than their technology could save them. So instead of despairing, they had built a transmitter powerful enough to punch through the intergalactic void. They had encoded everything they were, everything they had been, and cast it into the darkness like a message in a bottle. Not seeking rescue. Seeking remembrance. The response. Zara composed her report carefully. The Kthel Confederation would want to know about this discovery, but she knew what they would say. The humans were gone. Ancient history. There was nothing to be done for a species that had been dust for 2 million years. But she thought about that child looking at the stars. She thought about a dying civilization spending its final decades building a monument, not to their own glory, but to the simple fact that they had lived. She made a decision. Computer, Compile all human data. Create a memorial entry in the Galactic Archive. Cross-reference with all known dead civilizations. Mark as priority preservation. Acknowledged. Memorial created. However, regulations require approval for override. Authorization Thumb 7 Prime. The humans reached across 2 million light-years and an ocean of time to tell us they existed. The least we can do is listen. She sat back in her chair, looking at the image of Earth, that blue jewel that no longer existed. The homeworld of a species that had faced extinction with courage and determination, choosing to light a beacon in the darkness rather than rage against the dying of their light. You mattered, Zara whispered to the image. I promise you mattered. The signal continued its endless repetition, broadcasting into the void, waiting for someone to hear. And now, finally, someone had. But the story wasn't over. As Zara prepared to transmit her findings to the Confederation, her instruments picked up something new. Another signal, different from the first, but bearing the same mathematical signature. The same human origin. This one was much stronger. And according to her instruments, it was less than 1,000 years old. The second signal. Zara's workstation erupted with alerts. The new signal wasn't coming from the same dead system as the first. This one originated from a nearby dwarf galaxy, barely 300,000 light-years away. Close, in cosmic terms. Recent, in temporal terms. Impossible, in every conceivable way. Computer, verify signal authenticity. Cross-reference with human mathematical patterns from the first transmission. Match confirmed. Probability of identical mathematical signature from different source, 0.0003%. Conclusion, same origin species. Zara's 4 hearts hammered against her chest plates. The humans couldn't have survived. Their sun had killed them 2 million years ago. Yet here was proof that they had not only survived but had somehow crossed the intergalactic void to establish themselves in another galaxy entirely. Decode message. Priority maximum. The signal resolved into images, clearer and more sophisticated than the ancient transmission. The first showed ships, massive structures that dwarfed anything in the Confederation fleet. They moved between stars, each one a self-contained world. Colony ships. The message that followed changed everything Zara thought she knew. The story unfolds. To whoever receives this, we are the descendants of Earth. Our ancestors sent you a message long ago, a memorial to a world that was dying. They believed they were the end of our story. They were wrong. The transmission showed the humans' desperate solution. They hadn't had the technology to save their world, but they had something more valuable, time and determination. While their sun slowly expanded, they had built ships. Not fast ships, not efficient ships, but enduring ones. Generation ships. Hundreds of them, launched over 1,000 years, each carrying thousands of humans in cryogenic suspension. They had scattered in every direction, riding on fusion drives that would burn for millennia. Most had failed. The transmission showed failed colonies, ships that had fallen silent, worlds that couldn't sustain them. But some had succeeded. Against odds that would have broken any other species, some humans had found new homes. They had adapted, evolved, survived. And once they had established themselves, they had begun to search for others. They had been searching for 2 million years. We never forgot, the message continued. Every generation taught the next about Earth, about the stars, about the dream of finding others like us. We learned patience. We learned persistence. We learned that the universe is vast, but we are stubborn. The fleet. Zara's sensors detected movement. Ships emerging from faster-than-light drives at the edge of her sensor range. Human ships, matching the designs in the transmission. They were here. Actually here. She opened a communication channel, her hands trembling. This is Research Station Keeper 7. I received your message. Both messages. We didn't know anyone could survive what you survived. The response came quickly. This is Admiral Chen of the Terran Exodus fleet. We've been following our ancestors' signal for 3,000 years, hoping someone heard it. Thank you for answering. But how? Zara asked, overwhelmed. The timescales involved, the distances, how did you maintain cohesion across such spans? We made a choice, Chen replied. When our ancestors fled Earth, they encoded something into every ship's core memory. A mission. A purpose. Find others. Prove we're not alone. Every human child is raised with that dream. It's been our North Star for 2 million years. Zara thought about her own species, comfortable in their mapped galaxy, content with their knowledge. The Kthel had stopped exploring centuries ago. Why venture into the unknown when the known was sufficient? Admiral, I should warn you, Zara said carefully. The Confederation may not welcome you. You're an unknown factor, and we prefer stability. There was a pause, then Chen's response carried what Zara had learned to recognize as human laughter. Dr. Kthel, we spent 2 million years crossing the universe because one of our ancestors looked at the stars and wondered what was out there. We can handle a bit of bureaucracy. The meeting. The first contact between the Kthel Confederation and humanity occurred at Research Station Keeper 7, witnessed by a single scientist who had happened to be listening in the right place at the right time. Admiral Chen's shuttle docked with precise efficiency. When the airlock opened, Zara saw humans for the first time, not as ancient images, but as living, breathing beings. They were smaller than she expected, seemingly fragile. But their eyes held something that made her understand why they had survived. Dr. Kthel, Chen extended a hand in the human greeting gesture Zara had learned from the transmissions. On behalf of humanity, thank you for remembering us. Your ancestors made it impossible to forget, Zara replied, carefully grasping the offered hand. They reached across time and space to tell their story. It's an honor to meet their children. Chen smiled. They would be proud to know their message was heard. But we're not here just to honor the past. We're here to build a future. Humanity has learned much in our long journey. We've faced challenges your Confederation has never encountered. We've solved problems born from isolation and scarcity. You want to share this knowledge? We want to be part of something larger. Our ancestors dreamed of finding others, not to conquer them, but to join them. That dream kept us going through the darkest times. The legacy. As Zara guided the human delegation through her station, explaining Confederation protocols and politics, she realized something profound. The Kthel had evolved in a galaxy teeming with life, always part of a community. They had never known true isolation. But humanity had been forged in loneliness, shaped by the absolute certainty that they might be alone forever. And they had never given up. The Confederation would be changed by contact with humanity. These persistent, stubborn survivors who had turned an extinction event into a 2-million-year odyssey would challenge every assumption about what was possible. The Confederation Council will meet you in 30 days, Zara explained. They'll want to understand your intentions, your capabilities, your everything. Chen nodded. We've waited 2 million years. 30 days is nothing. Besides, it gives us time to prepare our answer to the question they'll inevitably ask. What question? Why humans never give up, even when logic says we should. Chen looked out at the stars through the viewport. The answer is simple. That child looking at the sky in our ancestors' message? Every human has been that child. Every one of us has looked up and wondered what's out there. And wondering isn't enough. We have to know. Zara understood then what made humans different. The Kthel explored space because it was logical, efficient, beneficial. Humans explored because something in their core couldn't bear not knowing. They were driven by a curiosity so fundamental it had sustained them across millions of years and millions of light years. Welcome to the Confederation, Zara said quietly. I think you're going to change everything. That's what we do best, Chen replied with that peculiar human smile. We survive. We adapt. We persist. And we never, ever stop reaching for the stars. Outside the viewport, the human fleet held formation, each ship a testament to the species that had turned extinction into exploration and isolation into determination. Behind them, 2 million years of struggle and survival. Ahead of them, a galaxy full of new possibilities and a civilization that was about to learn what humanity meant. The signal that had traveled across the universe had finally received its answer. Humanity had been remembered. And now humanity had returned. The stars, as always, watched in silence. But they no longer watched alone. The end. Thank you for watching HFY Codex Archives. Like and subscribe for more science fiction stories about humanity's indomitable spirit among the stars.